Chip, what do you know about Mariner's safety record?
Well, we've been filing through the government databases on this, and so far I found about a dozen reports of incidents, most of them minor. About half of those involved violations. 2008 certainly was the worst year for Mariner. I found 6 incidents in 2008 alone. There's a whole list of violations that year. In June, there was a fire on a production platform in shallow water about 21 miles offshore. That caused about $40,000 in damage, but there were no violations reported. Later, there was a collision between a 400-foot barge that was being towed at night, and then it crashed into a shut-in well, but that was just minor damage. There were some workers evacuated because of a blowout in about 300 feet of water. Probably the worst definitely the worst accident that year was in January, right at the beginning of the year. A welder who was under contract to Mariner and other companies was cutting a hole in what's called an oil pan. And both the pan and the worker fell about 50 feet to the rig floor, and that was killed in that accident. So overall, not the best record in the Gulf, but probably not the worst record. And these are industrial operations, and accidents happen.
This explosion, Jeff, comes obviously at a time of intense scrutiny of the oil and gas business in the Gulf, given the explosion. What have you heard, if anything, from industry today about what happened?
It's such a sensitive time for them. They're already worried about the effects of the Deepwater Horizon accident and what new regulations are going to come out of that. Just yesterday, the industry held a big rally in Houston. There were about 5,000 people there, mostly oil workers and supporters of the industry, and then something like this happened. Just kind of this collective groan all across this industry, and it's not an industry that communicates very much in good times, but certainly when something like this happens, they shut down. But essentially, they're just saying to me, kind of off the record, it's a really bad time for us to have to deal with something like this when we're already worried about what's going to happen to the future of our industry.
Okay, Jeff, thanks very much.
Thank you, Lisa.
NPR's Jeff Brady talking about the explosion of an offshore oil and gas platform today in the Gulf of Mexico.
An NPR News investigation has revealed new concerns about what happened in the hours after the explosion of the Upper Big Branch coal mine in West Virginia, where 29 mine workers died in April. 2 officials from mine owner Massive Energy were underground, unsupervised, for 4 hours after the blast. The company says they were trying to rescue people, but some investigators and federal regulators want to know whether evidence was compromised. NPR's Howard Ruckus explains.
It was just after 3 in the afternoon on April 5th. Inside the Upper Big Branch mine, 29 lives were gone or fading fast. The explosive force and fire didn't take them, the gases would. Miners and mine officials outside rushed in to find survivors, and they didn't get far, about 3/4 of a mile, before finding 8 men in a shuttle car. Only 1 was alive. They brought the severely injured survivor and the bodies out, but 2 company executives went deeper into the mine. This is familiar behavior to Ed Clare, who spent 22 years as the chief lawyer at the Mine Safety and Health Administration.
The impulse is to get into the mine, bring people out alive. My own view is that it was irresponsible for them to be there with the best of intentions. They clearly took extreme risk with their own lives and with the lives of rescuers.
Rescuers have been killed trying to save people who rushed in to help. In this case, the 2 executives spent 4 hours on their own, walking 9 miles, according to Massey Energy. They didn't have the sophisticated breathing apparatus mine rescuers wear, using instead simpler self-rescue devices stashed underground. Rick Blanchard is the president of the subsidiary that operates the mine.
Corporate officials at this high level know better than to stay in the mine for that long period of time. They would have known that the government would want them out of the mine so that an organized, methodical rescue effort could commence.
In fact, the Mine Safety and Health Administration issued a so-called K order at 5:20 that night, closing the mine to all but official rescuers and authorized activity. In the command center on the surface, Kevin Strickler, the agency's coal mine chief, was alarmed.
MSHA has to give approval of people to go into areas that
under the K order. In this case, the K order was in place for the entire mine. So they shouldn't have been underground, but I was emphatic that I wanted those two guys out of there. And at the time, it was more for their safety than what it was that I thought anything was being tampered with.
Tampering with evidence is a concern because Blanchard and Whitehead had been near the longwall mining machine. It is believed to be one of 3 likely sources of the blast. Massey insists they were on a heroic rescue mission in an area where 8 bodies were found. But this is also accompanied with a legacy of safety violations, citations, and fines. And there was that incident in February in the mine, reported by NPR, in which safety equipment on the mining machine was disabled. Possible tampering with equipment is already one subject of disaster and criminal investigations.
There's an issue whether it occurred or not. There's a question that's going to come up of whether there was any tampering that took place.
Should this be investigated by the MSHA special investigators and or the FBI?
Yes.
Answering that question the same way is Brd Kc, a veteran of mine disaster investigations, a former federal mine safety chief, and the leader of an independent Upper Big Branch investigative team assembled by West Virginia's governor.
As a matter of practice and a matter of custom, you don't want somebody in there who's got an interest in this outcome of the investigation to have unfettered access to the materials and to the information that's underground.
Massey Energy says in a statement there was no effort whatsoever to tamper with any evidence. The only goal, the company says, was to rescue fellow miners. Still, some now doubt the integrity of the evidence underground. Mark Moreland represents the interests of the coal miners in the disaster investigation.
Yes. Cast a call on all of the evidence. This certainly has to be clarified and cleared up completely before the evidence could in any way be interpreted as related to their fault.
Moreland also represents 2 families suing Massey Energy for wrongful death. Kevin Strickland of the Mine Safety and Health Administration says he's confident investigators and detectives
We will be able, if we need to, get to the point of fingerprinting or DNA testing to make this determination. We're not above that. I mean, we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that what we say conclusively what occurred is, I'm not saying that Blanchard or Brd did anything, but if they did, we'll make that determination.
Neither Massey executives Chris Blanchard or Jason Whitehead were available to speak with us, the company said, but are scheduled for questioning by investigators later this month. Howard Burns, NPR News.
You're listening to All Things Considered.
And stay tuned to All Things Considered here on Kansas Public Radio. Coming up, in California, Democratic Senator Barbara Boxer is in the fight of her political life. Her challenger is Carly Fiorina, the former Hewlett-Packard CEO. Last night, the two met in a debate. We'll have more on that coming up on All Things Considered here on Kansas Public Radio.
Support for KPR comes from Core First Bank and Trust. 50 years as a banking partner committed to customer care and innovation in banking services. More information online at corefirstbank.com.
Twitter is a great way to connect with your friends, and now you can connect to KPR on Twitter. Sign up for a KPR Twitter feed at our website, kpr.ku.edu, and choose to follow our music shows or breaking news or my very own State House News Twitter feed. Check it out on our website and stay connected to Kansas Public Radio.
Support for KPR comes from Kansas Oil and Gas Resources Fund, bringing industry professionals to the classroom through the Petro Pros program. Request form online at kansasstrong.com. Energy from the heartland, strength for our nation.
There's a considerable amount of thunderstorms throughout northeast and east central Kansas. Here in Lawrence, it's 78 degrees, overcast, and quite breezy. 50% chance of thunderstorms for the rest of the afternoon. It's 3:20. This is Kansas Public Radio.
From NPR News, it's All Things Considered.
The financial crisis of 2008 lingers on. We still have subpar economic growth and high employment. But today we heard about one very big problem that could be changing. what Commission Chairman Phil Angelidis wanted to know.
One of the biggest questions that Americans have is how do we recycle? What is the single most important thing that should have been done and can be done in the future to break the cycle? The single most important policy action that we can take.
There has to be a credible way to let firms fail and factories fire.
And Fed Chairman Bernanke said the regulatory overhaul recently signed by the president aims to do just that. He said the new rules don't even allow the government to give directives to firms like the Fed and Treasury did during the crisis. Instead, regulators will have to step in and wind the firms down in an orderly fashion.
And let me just be clear, this is not going to be easy to implement because these are large, complex firms with multinational presence and significant power. But it's a very important step to take away the discretion.
The FDIC was one of the charged with winding firms down, and it's had plenty of practice with more than 100 bank failures just this year. Chairwoman Sheila Bair, who testified after Bernanke, said the FDIC plans to have a framework out for resolving very large, systemically important firms in the near future.
We do think it is going to be a system that will work better than bankruptcy, and certainly is a much better alternative to bankruptcy.
Once the market comes to understand that big banks really can fail, Bair and Bernanke both expect that these large firms will start getting smaller.